Alright. Well, I wanted to talk about a topic that it really, it really speaks to me. I really feel strongly about this. And that topic is, it's like spoilering, but I label it as light spoilering. It's not the same thing as spoilers. It's a different form of spoilers, but like, it's a very light form that a lot of people like generally they allow it. Like when somebody says something, it's a light spoiler. The person receiving that spoiler doesn't really realize it, and they don't really notice or care too strongly either way. Uh, Online, it's really easy to give away info and whatnot that spoils something for someone else, and they don't really realize it. It could be the smallest of things, and I can't really use examples because if I were to use examples, that in and of itself would be a light spoiler. So I'll use the most broadest, unlabeled examples I could possibly muster. So like, let's say you have a show, and that show has, um, it has a story, and the story has a twist in it, but I, as a person, know of this twist because I've already watched the whole thing from beginning to end. And I'm telling somebody that I like, somebody I'm friends with, to get into this show, to get into the thing and watch it themselves and experience it from beginning to end. But I mention, maybe not paying too attention to my own word choice, but I mention accidentally, of course, that things change in the show. And just by saying something as small as things change in the show, that friend will hear what I'm saying, and he'll go ahead and think to himself, well, huh. So the show is gonna go one way for a while, and then it's gonna take a turn and go a different way for a while, probably to the end. So now this person has, in their own head, created an idea of how the thing is gonna unfold, how everything is gonna go when they watch it. So when as they're watching this thing, they will be thinking in the back of their mind subconsciously, when will this thing change? When is the change coming? And that is what I'm calling a light spoiler, because it bothers me, because there has been pieces of media that I feel like could have resonated really well with like my heart and like really felt deep within me, and because of just light spoilers, I feel like I became more distant to these things, to these shows, or maybe even a game storyline could be pretty good. So it really bothers me. Online, on the internet here, people don't really care what they say too much. They don't really watch or police what they say themselves, and I think that's kind of a good thing. But it's really shit, because if you're interested in watching something and somebody like, oh yeah, that's what this is, they just throw it and lump it into a category, and then you're like, oh, I didn't expect that, and they're like, well, yeah, that's how it is. If you don't expect it, I mean, whatever, but that's just how it goes. I mean, watch it for yourself if you want to find out more. And people don't really care too much about the experiences of other people, and they're alright with ruining it. Even if they don't feel like they're ruining it, they're just saying something that's true, and they're just thinking to themselves that it's true. Your friends will be talking to you, and your friends will get you into something, and they'll be using light spoilers as kind of like a way of getting you into it, to try and like bait you into being interested. I almost was guilty of this with one anime or whatever I was recommending, but I made sure that I didn't do to them what had happened to me, because I had actually discovered this thing, and it was light spoiled for me, I mean, kind of hard spoiled and light spoiled. I don't know. It's a little bit blurry, but I thought to myself, well, this is so good. I have to recommend it, but I don't want to say anything. I just want to say, watch this. Just believe me. And that's all I did. And it took months, months of patience from me before anybody I knew watched this. Before anybody I knew could talk about this with me. For months I had to sit there. I was unable to talk about this. I was unable to speak about it or discuss anything. I was completely alone in the fact that nobody I knew had watched it or whatever. But I thought to myself, it's more worth it that I never say anything than it's more worth saying something to get them to do it faster. The speed at which my friends watched it didn't matter. The quality at which my friends enjoyed it is what mattered. So I just focused on other things and I ignored it. And I managed to not light spoil that. Everybody, I think everybody does this. Everybody's accidentally um, gives away something small because they don't really think too hard about it. They're talking, and the flow of conversation just enables them to give away things that they are to believe is interesting, and it's nice. People like sharing things with one another, and that's great and all. But sharing the best parts of something is probably going too far. You probably shouldn't go that far if you're going to try and share experiences with somebody. If you like something, you can't just tell somebody the entirety of why you like something. It ruins it possibly for the other person. Most people would agree with the statement that I act differently around my friends than I do when I'm all alone. And you can enjoy something to ridiculous levels by yourself, but if you're with somebody, you might goof around or something because friends are friends and they're really fun to be around. So you goof off and you might accidentally ruin the experience slightly without really realizing it, of course, because you're goofing around too much. You're not focused at the stuff in front of you, and you're making too many jokes, or you ignore story points or something, or you ignore a scene or something that would have resonated with you really closely, but because you're watching it with somebody, you miss out on it. I mean, that's okay. I mean, we can all choose for ourselves what we watch by ourselves and what we try and watch with others. Watching stuff with other people can be some of the most fun you ever have, but watching something alone can be uh, a true learning experience as well as a fun adventure. Um, so yeah, these light spoilers, it can be anything. It can be just moods, tones, surprises, or actual story points. I mean, there's actual spoilers for a reason. We all know about uh, spoiler tags and other people trying to give spoiler warnings and whatnot, but nobody really does light spoiler warnings and nobody really cares. I would give examples, but I feel like I'd be a hypocrite if I gave any example at all of what I'm trying to say. I could try and make up an example, but I'm not really prepared to make up anything at the moment, so I don't want to waste time. Years ago, this stuff wasn't fucking common. Years ago, nobody bothered, really. Like, it was harder years ago to communicate with one another, so it was also harder to spoil things. Like, nowadays, it's really easy to because of Twitter and uh, YouTube feeds and other things like Facebook. It's easy to talk to one another and to get info that you otherwise wouldn't have gotten. And with people choosing to do their own things at different times. I mean, one person might go to see a movie in the movie theater one week, and the next week somebody else decides to go, but the person who went earlier said everything they knew about the movie on Facebook, and then the second person already knew what to expect when they were going into the theater and buying their own ticket. I think it's a little messed up, but I mean, that's how it kind of goes. If you want to protect this experience, there's only one thing you can do, and that's to attempt to distance yourself from all information as thoroughly as possible. You can't talk to anybody about it, you can't think about it, you can't look up anything. I remember one time I was looking up music of a specific thing, and I managed to read a couple comments on that music, and it was actually spoilers, like actual hard spoilers, not even light spoiling, like just straight up super huge, like show slash movie ruining things. And there it was right in front of my eyes, and I was like, I have to sit here now and think, do I choose to believe this or disbelieve this? And I have no other option. Like, if I sat in front of you and gave you almost like an ultimatum of spoiler, you either have to decide for yourself, am I lying to you or telling you the truth? And that really bothers me, because if you're trying to enjoy something and just relax, you don't want to sit there and think, is what my friend said true or false? Is he trolling me? Is he lying to me? Is he telling me the truth? Is he trying to save me some of my time and effort? I don't know. But these spoiler ultimatums are really annoying. There's no foolproof plan anyways. By the time you read a sentence, it's over. You now are presented with a true or false dilemma, believe or not believe dilemma. Someone one time, I know of this story where somebody lied actually about a show, just straight up lied, like super, like just trolled the fuck out of this person, and they believed him at first. They didn't even disbelieve. They believed that what the person said to them was the truth, and then when they finished the show, they're just like, you fucking lied to me. I believed what you said was true, and I finished the show and you lied, and it just ruined everything for me, and they were really upset. And that just kind of like proves to me that light spoilers are a thing. It's not like the person was telling the truth, it's just you managed to ruin something for somebody else by just lying, just straight up joking around. You managed to actually annoy somebody and piss them off, and I feel like even if nothing can be done to remedy that situation, at least we can point it out that, hey, this is actually like a thing that exists, an actual issue that exists. So the takeaway or whatever is that the journey or whatever of a show, the adventure, the surprises of whatever, or the surprises matter less than the experience and journey itself, but I would also take lengths to try and protect the things that you want to experience wholesomely. I know that a couple games I've been playing in the past few months, I have gone out of my way to avoid spoilers. I haven't clicked on those YouTube videos that have titles that sound super interesting, but I know that in the end I would just give away all the answers I'm looking for in my own playthroughs. And I want to enjoy things. After enjoying something, and I'm not going to say what it is, after enjoying something so thoroughly, even though it was light spoiled for me, even though the most important part was ruined for me, I still enjoyed it so much that it made me think about this topic, and it made me think, wow, this was so good despite I knew about this for forever. I knew about this for so long. I knew this was going to happen, and I still enjoyed it. And that kind of shows me that surprises matter, but surprises that aren't surprises don't need to matter if the adventure leading up to that point was worth it and good and quality and all that great stuff. So
For me,
I hope you thought my topic was interesting. I wanted to talk about this. It was really fun to get this out there, and I'll see you all later. Bye bye.